The intent is that they want to add more SCP creatures afterwards. Yes, Brawl, this is the one where they made the weird looking. So this is based on SCP 173. So let me show you what SCP-173 looks like. If you, unless you're familiar with SCP, 173 will mean nothing to you. I will show what the normal SCP-173 picture looks like. Let's see, window captured. So this is SCP-173. It's what's known as a Euclid one, which are actively hostile. Yes, this is the one where you said they had made them hot. But just keep that in mind. That's what it's supposed to be. Yes, this is called Doki Doki Anomaly. And the story behind the SCP-173, because I didn't read through it just then, is this is one of those ones that if you're familiar with the Doctor Who Weeping Angels, very similar concept to the way that they attack, in the sense of like when you're not looking at them is when they attack you. So you have to maintain a line of sight until like basically you have to keep maintaining a line of sight until like you are out of their line of sight. The first recorded. Oops. Let me. I forgot I knocked the audio up, so I hope I didn't just blow everyone's ears out. The first recorded death associated with SCP-8008 occurred on December 18th, 1997. The victim, Jean-Paul Revue, 38, Caucasian male, was found pinned under his Dodge truck. Police on the scene reported him being smushed to the neck like an empty tube of toothpaste. Exact wording. He was also smiling ear to ear and wearing a pair of novelty spiral lens glasses. The SCP Foundation became involved later when the local detective assigned to the case was also found dead. Dismembered by his own lawnmower, smiling broadly and wearing the same glasses. Apparently, this anomalous pair of novelty glasses, deemed SCP-8008, allows the wearer to fall in love with literally anything. Of the original team of 4 researchers, I am the only survivor. Researchers Flint, Don, and Kramer were killed by an H2 pencil, a diamond necklace, and a pool noodle, respectively. Because of my mental resilience, I have received Class 5 authorization to take the experiments to the next phase. I turned SCP-8008 over in my hands and on the way to the testing chamber. Is this really a good decision? Probably not. The heavy doors to SCP-173, the sculpture's enclosure, was already open when I arrived. My assistant, Dr. Singer, is already inside waiting, along with a half-dozen D-Class personnel. The D-Class inmates are all staring nervously at the anomaly. Most of them have seen firsthand what it can do. Okay, so that's the thing is, as long as someone is maintaining eye contact, it's not going to... So, like, that's why there's a bunch of them. So if one of them happens to look away, it's okay. But if there happens to be a moment where let's say if there's 4 of them, all 4 of them blink at the same time, they're probably dead. All it takes is an instant when nobody has it in their direct line of sight. The best laid plans of mice and men. Oh, what was that, sir? Huh? Nothing. Need to focus. No time for second thoughts. Not after all the red tape I had gone through to get here. The chair I sit in is cold aluminum, disposable like everything in this room. SCP-173 is at the opposite end of the square room, far from the table I'm seated at. It's odd, knowing that this vaguely peanut-shaped object can snap all of our necks in an instant. Even a blink at the wrong time, you're dead. I take a deep breath and put on SCP-8008, the novelty glasses. I'm going to check on the site if there is actual 8008. I know it's boob. Let me check. SCP-808. There is not an official one because that's the thing with SCP is they have to come into an agreement of like what it is, and especially with a number like that, you got to be really certain that it's the best one for it. Hello? I checked the microphone on the table to make sure it's recording. SCP-173, can you understand me? Was that a reaction? Yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Compliment SCP-173 or demand that it speaks. I don't want to be demanding. It's a compliment. You have very lovely hair. I think she liked that? Are you wondering how you're understanding me? She actually responded. So there's an official wiki for SCP, and a lot of numbers have already been kind of claimed. Basically what happens is you have to come up with the story. It's got to fit their specific criteria because they're written like conspiracy theory, items of paranormalness, kind of. A good example, the game Control uses a lot of inspiration from SCP. Can't help but wonder what the others in the room are seeing. I'll have to check the video footage afterwards. Yeah, let me provide a link to the SCP Foundation. For now, I need to stay focused. Like, it doesn't use SCP in particular, but it uses conceptual things where there's this government facility where all of these paranormal entities are stored. I guess you could say Cabin in the Woods kind of too. But the thing is, not all of them are violent. Some of them are very benign. Some of them may just be normal things. Which is why they have different classifications for it. But if you ever get a chance, read a number of those. SCP-173 is probably the most famous of them. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, SCP-173? Can you respond verbally so that the others can confirm that we're communicating? Maybe bang on the table? The twisted body of one of the decast personalis slammed suddenly onto the table, looking up at me with wide eyes. The unfortunate man is trying to breathe through a neck turned 180 degrees. A second clatter startles me, but it's just my chair hitting the ground. I stood up without realizing. She doesn't even seem to notice what she did. When did I start thinking of it as a she? Did anyone see that? What happened? I blinked. Me too. And me. And me. So the D classes are all inmates, Like, that's what it is. Basically, they're using them as guinea pigs to test the effects of these very SCP classified. Everyone just happened to blink at the same time? I'll remind D-Class personnel that any deviation from eye contact protocol will have severe consequences. We can see that. Beyond the obvious. Right. We're running out of time. I need to get back on track. Looking at the anomaly the whole time, I slowly bend and retrieve my chair. SCP-173, are you proud of yourself? No? What do I make of that? Oh, well, that's good to know at least. The noise of the alarm beeping almost makes me jump out of my skin. Perhaps it's a good place to leave things for today. Thank you for speaking with me, SCP-173. I stand to go, my eyes watering from resisting the urge to blink. Thank you. Her voice sends a shiver down my spine. I remove the glasses. Without them, the beautiful woman disappears, replaced with a concrete and rebar monstrosity looming before me. Its emotionless face seems so alien to me. I rub my eyes after spending hours reviewing the grainy footage. Nothing. No hint of the young woman I've been conversing with. Just the sculpture with the fetus-like limbs and bulbous head standing completely still on the corner of the cell. Then the moment in which it blurs and shoots towards the unfortunate D-Class. And then towards me. It stops just shy of the table I'm sitting at. I jump at the sound of D-8269's body smacking wetly on the tabletop, even through the tinny PC speakers. I cross my arms against the chill of my office. How exactly does SCP-8008 produce such vivid hallucinations? If that's really what they are. Moving forward, I'll ask Dr. Singer to record her perspective on their experiments, since mine is obviously compromised. It's critical to monitor any possible deterioration of my mental state. I will also double the number of D-Class personnel in the room. As I drift off to sleep, my mind is filled with the events of the day. Oh, it's, okay, cool. I'll take it. We're just trying to get as many points as possible. Yeah, I don't know if we're supposed to get a certain amount of points or what. Great job, keep going. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. I see what they're trying to do. So we're trying to, I think we just need to fill up the heart meter. Okay. The following afternoon, I returned to SCP-173's holding chamber for further testing. My head feels cloudy, filled with the strange dreams I had last night. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My apologies. I'm back. Okay. My head feels cloudy. It's filled with strange dreams I had last night. I think I dreamt of SCP-173, but it's all a blur. It doesn't really matter, I decide. It's just a dream. I need to focus on the task at hand. Even a momentary lapse in concentration could kill me if I let it. Afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, Singer. Thank you for agreeing to monitor my reactions. Of course. I'm here to help with anything you need. She seems overly eager today, and doesn't mix well with my splitting headache. Probably just trying to get a promotion out of me. Or at least over my dead body. Taking a deep breath, I put on SCP-8008. Is SCP-173 crying? What is it? Over my right shoulder, Dr. Singer scribbles something in her notes. I try to ignore it. You came back. Of course, we still have several experiments planned. What's wrong? Why are you crying? So lonely. The expression on her face is heartbreaking. I can't believe to imagine how isolated she must feel. Is it okay if I touch your hand? Sir, that isn't planned until Experiment 5. But, can't you see her crying? No, sir, it looks the same as it always does. She scribbles something else in her notes. Irritating. SCP seems to be watching our exchange. She holds out her hand tentatively. Sure. I reach out and touch SCP-173's fingers with my own. For an instant, the anomaly blurs out of vision. And I could suddenly feel her hand in my own. Her small warm fingers interlock desperately with my own. The distant part of me is shocked that no one else has been murdered. Or nobody has been murdered. Is everyone alright? The D-Class personnel all nod, thanking their lucky stars. We will proceed with this experiment. A moment passes as I dare anyone to contradict my order. SCP-173 has never turned down a chance to kill. This must mean we're actually communicating in some way. We're gonna try some word association, alright? I'm gonna say a word and you tell me the first word that comes to your mind. Then I'll repeat it so everyone else can hear, okay? I. Home. Home? Alright. Murder. Bad. Bad. That one will take some unpacking later. SCP Foundation. Do you understand that one? What is SCP Foundation? It's, where you are, I guess. Your home? No. That's not true. I am home. I watch over. I stand up without thinking, hoping to calm her down. But what's it saying? Nobody blink. SCP-173 seems to vibrate in and out of my vision. Everyone stay calm. Implement Protocol C. Retreat in formation. For just an instant, I blink unintentionally. I see her as she really is. A monster of concrete and rebar, with a hideous face of spray paint. The tabletop timer beeps. SCP-173 calms suddenly, surprised by the sudden noise. Did I do bad? I need to keep her calm while the personnel evacuate. No, you're fine. You didn't hurt anyone. The D-Class are slowly filling out of the room. I need to get going, too. It's time to go. Take the glasses off. Yes, of course. I'll be back tomorrow, okay? Be patient until then. That was too close. As I remove SCP-18008, I resolve to be more careful in the future. The sculpture's alien face seems to watch me as the thick metal doors shut behind us. Reviewing the footage brings no new revelations. The sculpture shows no sign of the distress I'd seen. The only one acting strangely is me. Touching the creature's hand had been a clear violation of the protocols I myself had set out for the experiment. Watching myself reach out and touch SCP-173's stubby arms makes me feel physically ill. The photograph from the file of the Quebec man, crushed by his own truck, springs to mind. Perhaps the glasses are cognito-hazardous in some way? It will require more research. I need to get 10,000 or die? What? Oh crap. I think I got enough points, but I need to at least get enough to... Oh shit, okay. Getting more difficult. Oh crap, what's going on? bolt upright in my computer chair, my heart racing. All I could see is her face, smiling at me, inviting me. My head is throbbing. I'd already stayed up far later than is advisable. Have I slept? I can't remember. I don't feel well. I find myself wanting to visit SCP-8008's containment locker. Luckily, it's a safe class anomaly and requires only minimal security. Just a combination lock and a metal door. I need a drink of water. The halls are dim as I pad through them in my socks, but not vacant. Many researchers prefer the quiet of night to work. I nod at a bleary-eyed assistant returning from the cafeteria with a mug of hot coffee. He stares at me oddly for a moment, pausing briefly. He just shakes his head and continues on his way. What was that about? I just don't have the mental energy to worry about it right now. I look up after wandering for a while and find myself outside SCP-173's containment chamber. The steel doors are firmly closed for the night, interlocking like some giant insect's teeth. What am I doing here? What had I been expecting? I turned to head back to my room when suddenly... You came back! I spin around in shock. SCP-173 is just standing there. Outside containment. That is, if she's really there. If I'm not just losing my mind. What are you doing out here? She seems taken aback by my reaction. You let me out? What? Is all I could think to say. Oh, and please don't blink. I don't want to hurt you. The next words die in my throat as I realize just how much danger I'm in. She smiles, seeing my panic. I've got to go, but first... She leans in toward me, her hands going at the base of my neck. Kissy kissy. My mouth meets hers, I kiss her. It's everything I've dreamed of. Wait. Dreamed of? Where am I? Why does this place feel so familiar? Okay, I need 50,000 points. Oh god, this is getting more difficult. I'm having a really hard time right now. I don't think you're bluffing. SCP-8008 incident log August 6, 1988, Dr. Singer. The final researcher assigned to the initial SCP-8008's trial was found inside SCP-173's containment chamber, miraculously alive. No one knows how they got in there. The anomaly seemed to be ignoring them. Perhaps this is related to the researcher's catatonic state. SCP-8008 log, August 13th, 1998, Dr. Singer. The researcher has not regained consciousness. We attempted to remove SCP-8008, but found that the subject went into immediate cardiac arrest. Only by replacing the anomalous glasses were we able to save their life. We will continue research on SCP-8008, even if the doctor does not recover.